He always did it. Mideyah. In the background. It was like far away. It's like,
No. I was robbed. How you gonna rob me like that, Travesty?
Now that we're here to stay,
Robbing me.
loving me every way.
That was my
Taking
biggest
it
song.
day by day. Taking it day by day.
Pudding, she's not listening.
yeah, she's
You
lost.
get me?
I can't blame her though. You get
Pudding, that's how it's
Yeah.
supposed to be sang, you get me?
Don't worry, Pudding. You can fix Travesty's business in your show.
yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you like jokers. Workless nossies.
Anyway, welcome to Family Affair podcast with Pudding, Travesty, Mideyah, and me, of course, Alstallio, and maybe Erica. Maybe who knows if she's going to make it or not. She's having a lot of difficulties with her child, and the child always keeps her awake or stays awake for a long time. A bit like me, actually. At my house, the kids are just up all night.
Oh my
lately.
God.
I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if it's because they've had this like time off.
Yeah, they're not
Like-
being occupied, are they?
Yeah, so they're up
Their
to, like,
routine's
12.
been rejigged, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It's not fun. It's not fun.
No, it isn't. That's why
Okay.
I'm glad that we've had kids so late.
actually, I advocate having kids after 35 or 30.
I don't think you should, yeah.
I think you should have kids. You shouldn't have kids when you're younger, because that's like, I think I'm way more mature to handle kids now. I think if I would have had kids at 18, even though I wanted kids at 18, it would have been a mistake. Who's cutting up onions and stuff, man? Like, and all I can do is please mute your microphone if that's the case. I know it's Pudding.
I'm not cutting up onions.
That is
No, that
Travesty,
probably-
man.
Yeah, it was me. I was trying to get something out of the door.
Okay.
Sorry about that, people. The unprofessionalness.
Yeah. You know, this goes out to millions of people now, so, you know, just they'll be like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one who's always playing with stuff in the background. That's always munching. Yeah, that's what it's going to be like. Anyway, what's the topics today? Who's starting?
We're starting with this COVID bullshit.
Okay. Yeah, can you?
You know the one where they've suddenly decided that there's food. It's gone into the food chain.
Oh, is that what it's saying now?
Yes, I sent the link in for you to see.
That's the
the
story,
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then.
The BBC News runs a new report on COVID-19 spreading into our food factories 4 days after we broke the news.
So hold on. So what was it?
Go
Food
on.
came from
Go on,
bats.
I'll tell you.
So the food came from bats in somewhere in China, Wuhan, and now it's somehow made it into our food in your food in England or Europe.
What a load of crock.
Just trying to sell stories, isn't it?
Yeah, it's selling stories, and it's to distract us from the fact that after all these protests and whatnot, people are packed on beaches now, and no one's dropping dead on the street. No one's dropping dead in the supermarkets. You know, they've got to find a way to cover the fact that this COVID wasn't as devastating as they made out.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's what it basically is. So they've got to come up with something new. Suddenly they're going to scare us into not eating anything.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be like that. I don't think it's
What
going
do
to be
you
like that. I think I'll just keep it. They're going to keep it around coronavirus. I was talking to a mate at work today, and he was basically saying the masks are here to stay. It's like a new fashion.
Yeah.
Like in China, yeah. Like in
I was
China.
going to say like China. They've had it for years, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, on that point, for me personally, I agree with the mask thing, because I've got to be honest, and I don't make no apologies for what I'm going to say. There's a lot of dirty bastards out there who walk around coughing in your face and don't have no respect, no manners to cover up. So I'm glad they bought in the masks, so these dirty buggers can inhale their own shit that they're trying to give everyone else.
Yeah, I agree.
That's me on a passionate rant.
Hardcore. I thought you was going there. I thought you was gonna remain positive on the show.
I've got
because of your
not
weak.
calm.
What is that? Your weak heart. You got.
My weak heart needs to stay calm.
So stay calm, relax. You should really. What you should be saying is, yeah, I hope that
Ainza.
everyone gets their Haimza, yeah, and everyone should be relaxing and meditating on their food and praying and making sure that they make their water holy before.
Don't you think that should wait for another show?
I don't know, man. Actually, I got a friend. We can get him on one day. He's an expert with food, so maybe he's
Yes.
got to tell us. But,
Yes, that's true. That would be good.
all right.
That
So
would
is there anything
be
more to add to that? I don't know, man. I think.
So I think we've had enough of this COVID nonsense. The fact that it's gone into our food, if they're saying that the heat's supposed to sort of get rid of it, when we cook it, I'm sure it'll kill the virus anyway. So
that's it.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good
don't let
point.
it alarm people too much. It's probably in the food that the government eat, but it's not in my food.
No, ends.
Cook at home and you won't have any problems. I guess that's what it is.
That's it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So moving swiftly on to the next topic, which I find I'm very passionate about. And I think it's something, yes, we should talk about. Now, should a parent walk away from seeing their children if the relationship with the other party is volatile, to the extent that there is no positive solution or is detrimental to the well-being or the mental or emotional state of everyone involved? So do you think you should walk away from a child if you're in that sort of predicament, or do you think you should fight to the very end to keep seeing your children at whatever cost? Who'd like to start off answering that one?
I think, personally, it should be that, well, if it's you as the parent who you see your child in distress, or depending, obviously, what situation your said child is in, then I don't see why you should sort of detach from your relationship with your child. But if the other person is making it difficult for you to have a good relationship with your child, then yes, I think you should.
That's the one I'm talking about, where the person who has the children is so poisonous to the extent where they're talking bad about the other party, the other parent, or they're making it difficult for them to build a good relationship with the child. Do you think you should continue trying to see a child when the poison is always being put there?
No.
Isn't there support for that though?
Like, I was going to say,
you go the legal route.
No real support. There isn't no real support because, well, look at it this way: even if the outside parent can see that child in a supervised situation, or in what do they used to call them, contact centre. Remember, that child is already being poisoned by the other party, the other parent who they live with. So when they go to visit the parent, remember, we're talking small children, not necessarily older children. We're talking about children who are easily manipulated. So they've already got the poison there. So how is the relationship going to build good when they don't understand that what the parent at home is saying is not necessarily the right thing to be doing? Because no parent should be slagging down the parent who doesn't live at home anyway. But they do
I
it.
agree.
They do it. So at what point do you think, you know what, I'm going to walk away and...
Is it not... Wait there, can't you just walk away and still see the kid? I mean, I don't know what that's about. Because look, I find when two people split up... and have a little bit distance apart, you know how it goes. When distance apart comes in, then somehow you can get to common ground. I mean, we've had experience with this where one partner, or in our family as well, one partner and the dad of the kid didn't really get on. But over time, that heals, you know what I mean? So I think it shouldn't be...
Not necessarily.
Well, how bad are we talking of a relationship that would be so bad?
For instance, look at the situation that I was in once. The poison was there till the very end. Any opportunity that was given to put me down was put there. So it wasn't until that person had gone and that child had a chance to sort of be away and think for themselves, they realised that it wasn't true. Do you see what I'm saying? And this took 30 years. 30 years. Think about it. So this is what I'm saying. Is it really worth it? I suppose in my case, you could say, yes, it was worth it, even though it was 30 years down the line.
I don't know. That's a long prison sentence.
That's a long time. It's a long time.
But I don't know. I just don't think things stay poisonous forever. I don't think things stay poisonous forever. I think, you know, you can heal.
Some people
how long are you gonna... That's like, look, you're going to know some... I mean, you can have enemies, but at some point, you're going to forget why you was that person's enemy. Like, I've got people who probably don't like me. Who's like, I know this one guy, he doesn't like me for whatever reason. I don't even know why he doesn't like me. That's how long it's been. But I'm pretty sure if he sees me, he's still gonna be like, he's got some sort of beef with me. But I'm like, but I do think after some time, maybe 30 years, you do think, and I mean that's a long time, especially when kids are involved.
Yeah.
Because really, what you're doing when you leave the family, you're sacrificing your relationship, which is probably a good thing. But then you're sacrificing the relationship to your kids. You don't want to do that, can't you? I think the best method is, which a lot of people practice, is to give the kids to another family member when the person wants to visit the kids, the father or the mother.
I agree with that, but you've got to remember, Alstallio, there's a lot of poisonous people out there. Let me give you another example. The one person I know, because these people need to be remained anonymous. The one person I know, the child is now 12 years old, and that poison is still being put, to the degree that the child, yes, is in contact with the one parent, but is quite dismissive of them, quite disrespectful of them, because they've taken up the ways of the parent they live with, and they treat them the same way that parent would treat that parent, if you get what I mean. So the child is sort of mimicking how the parent they live with goes on with the parent that's not there. So that's 12 years of spitefulness going on.
12 years of slavery.
Yeah,
literally.
So at what point do you think it can be quite heartbreaking to watch? It's quite heartbreaking to see that there's no real change in sight. So this is what I'm saying. Is it really worth staying in a child's life until they grow up to an adult? I suppose, yes, in some cases it might be, but at what cost? A lot of damage is being done in that time. It's a tricky one, isn't it? That's why I thought I'd bring it to the front to see how people thought on this.
I think it's definitely a case of going over the third party. And I think you should never ever. You got no reason to ever stop seeing your kids.
Yeah,
because the kids, remember, your kids are going to be left empty as well. They're going to be like, "Why didn't Daddy?" Just because of you. And the worst thing is, what happens at the end? The kid hates their mom or their dad, respectively, because they broke up with their father, and they don't know why. And that person who's going to continue to poison them is like, "Yeah, your dad was a bad guy." They may never.
Your mom was a bad woman.
Yeah, or the mom. Obviously, in most cases, it's the dad.
I feel, sorry to cut you off, Sally. I feel if abuse is involved, then you do have to revisit and really think, is it worth it? Like, it's to the point where you lose your life. You know what I mean? Then you may have to walk away.
Too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because I have a
agreed.
friend who I've got close to, and she was in a situation where she could have lost her life, and her child doesn't have contact with, the father.
Actually, you know what? Abuse. I mean, I don't know what you mean. If you mean if the guy's beating them up, if he's beating his kids up and stuff,
emotionally, physically,
then this is something else.
This
should be addressed. I think. Definitely. I think
Even
you can't
when mediation's involved, it can still be quite tricky because mediation only works if they both want it to work. I mean, some people are forced because of a court saying you've got to go to it, but it's not what they really want. So it doesn't work in the end. So these are very, very, very tricky situations, and people really need to look and think hard about things like this. Do you stay in that child's life when it's so volatile? I don't know. I personally think if I was put in that position, thank God I've not been put in it, but if I was, I probably would have walked away. And I'm being honest, because it would my sanity and my mental well-being would be, more important, I'm afraid, because especially if the child is displaying the actions of the person they live with as well, it would make it very difficult for me to want to continue visiting as well.
Yeah, to that, I agree.
And say, come seek me out when you're older and I'll try and explain what happened.
I feel like obviously we're all children to somebody, aren't we? So I feel like as a child's point of view, in the way I think, if I was in a situation like that where my parents weren't getting along and it got serious and, there was no way that one of the parents could really see me, I'd have that in mind and think, oh, okay, it weren't the case of they didn't love me or didn't care for me. They just were put in a situation where they couldn't seek for me at that moment in time because they were putting themselves at risk emotionally. You know what I mean? That's my mentality. It's like the situation that I'm in currently with my parents. I've got this middle ground now of knowing that, oh, it never went the way it went when I was a kid. It actually went this way. So this person was right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'm happy that this person said nothing and allowed me to seek it out myself, because now I know my own truth and I've got closure from it.
Yeah. You know, but I think it is a hard one, and I don't think. I think it's catch-22. I think some people would fight hard and keep seeing them at all costs, and then you've got people who would walk away. So I suppose it's half and half.
Yeah.
I think there's no definite answer with this one, is there? Not really.
No, there isn't.
There isn't.
I think. Well, definitely an abusive parent should probably, if he's hitting the kids and the mom and stuff like in front of then he has to walk away, or she has to leave. I think 100%.
He or she should be forced away if they like
But
that.
I think in that case she should leave. If the woman's equally abusive to the man, I think the man should leave with the kids as well. I think that's how it should be, because the woman needs help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Help. So I think it goes in both ways. I think we all agree that the one has to be removed from the situation.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. That was quite a emotional one. So come on then, Travesty, read the next one on the list.
You always say this, but I haven't actually got my list up.
You never got your list up. What about
can you read it?
Right there. Oh, I've just flipped it off.
Next one. Go on.
Is it me?
Anyone who's saying it? All right, then me. Do you think young girls and their parents should also be held accountable when she lies to an older man about her age because she really wants to date him while she's under the age of 16 and he's older?
Yes, they should.
They should. No, they should. If they know. If they condone it, then yeah.
No. Listen. Go on. Travesty.
You know that.
Go on. Carry on, Travesty.
Because you know that girls and boys alike are devious when they see something they want and they know it's out of their reach. So anybody will lie, from an older man lying to get a younger girl, from a young girl lying to right there,
because they will be
and
held
vice versa, and vice versa. Of course, if the parent is aware, then yeah, definitely. If they're not, because you can't know every movement of your kid. So then yeah.
My take on that is, because the laws always put the man in the problem because he's the older one and he should have known. But the girls today are very, very devious. I mean, they've always been devious, but they've up their game since our day. So they can get things like fake IDs, for instance. They can actually get access to fake IDs to lie and make it look like they really are older. So that's why I was asking the question, do you think they should be held accountable if they're caught and they're put in that problem where the man's going to be done? Shouldn't the child be done as well, and the parents for not being aware that their kids was just as rude?
No, I don't.
I definitely think.
I think there should be.
Something should be put in place.
Something should be put in place where the girls held accountable, because they know what they're doing. The minute they lie to get someone, they know what they're doing. They're showing they're responsible. Remember what you were speaking about last week and these marriage into young people. Remember, I was set against that, and not just because of their age, but because what about their emotional and mental state? I was thinking of all those things, but these girls that are deliberately lying to men, they're showing that they're sensible. Be held accountable.
I feel like they should be educated. Something does need to be put in place because I know what it's like. Obviously, we've all been there, even young girls and boys and stuff. You think, let me try this tactic. Oh, I got away with that. Let me try it again because it worked the last time. So, there's always, I find, especially being a teenager, there's a lot of repetition with your emotions and how you approach like a situation where you want intimacy or romance or that feeling involved. There's always repetition. That's what I can say from my past experiences, liking guys back then. There's always that repetition. So I feel like there's something needs to be put in place where they need to be educated and informed on what they're doing. You know what I mean? And informed of the consequences that, could happen, affect them in the long term. Who knows? You could be giving yourself to some killer. You just don't know. So you do need to be educated. And know what feels wrong and right, because I feel a lot of young girls don't know that, hold on, I shouldn't be doing this, and it feels wrong to me. They still do it because
I don't think it ever feels wrong to them. I think they're just like, this is great.
Yes, I think that
I
I
don't think
agree
it's
with you.
Think.
Sam.
yeah. I
I
don't
think
think they
they're a
ever
lot
feel
more
wrong.
smarter than you think.
Uh,
They are definitely a lot more smarter than you think.
just
Definitely.
experimenting. That's what it is. The thing
Yeah,
people who need to be protected is the men who end up getting into this mess in the first place. Because
yeah.
I know that sounds a bit like I'm trying to protect guys who shouldn't be doing that stuff, but I think I've approached a girl like when I was a bit younger, and she was younger than I thought she was. I was like, "Oh, wait, old," and she told she was older. I was like, "Hold on a minute, you're only like this age," and I was like, "No, man, get away from me." You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah.
the thing is, it's you could go around asking everyone for the ID. I guess they need to develop an app where it tells you automatically how old the person is. But then again, that wouldn't work
Yeah.
for people, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
You
something
know,
definitely. Yeah, go on.
with all my relationships, I got ID'd all the time.
You got ID'd?
Yeah.
Let's
My
see that.
partner, my current partner now was like, "Can I see your ID?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." I'll even offer, "Do you want to see my ID?" You know what I mean? I don't mind.
But is it fake?
Mine's real.
There's the question.
Yeah.
Mine's a
There's
real
the
deal.
question.
Oh
Come
gosh,
on.
I'm not
They
no
do make
walking spam, Mideyah. I'm not no walking spam.
Joker.
Anyway, I think that the parents should take some responsibility. But then again, I think the parents got no control, man. I don't know.
They
Yeah.
have control. They have control in the way that they should be aware where the children are. They should be aware what the children are doing on the internet. That's what they should be aware of. So they will have an inkling.
What
Because
is
I mean,
it?
look how quickly I'll pick up if somebody's up to some sort of mischief.
Mm.
I'll pick it up straight away because
You're
I'm
quick, man.
inquisitive. I'm inquisitive. So I'm on the ball. So you got to
So
be on the ball.
You got centuries more experience. That's why.
Yeah.
I don't even use that smart at 15. I don't care. I don't know you that well, but I'm thinking at 15, that's smart.
Mm.
I'm just taking a wild guess, but I'm thinking at 15, there must be someone there who must have tricked you into something. I don't know, man. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do trick you into it. That's what I'm saying. The girls of today, I'm on about the girls of today who deliberately lie because they want someone, not the ones who have been tricked. That's a different show and a
The thing
different
is,
story.
isn't there there's a law that says if a girl's 15 and she has like intercourse with someone who's slightly older, isn't there a law in place that the guy who's older can't actually get done because
I think something,
consensual?
I think something like that in place. I'm talking about, let me give you an example. You'll find a 14-year-old girl, she's adamant she wants this guy who's, say, 24, 25. Now, she
What?
knows he's that age. I'm giving examples. And she's set out that she's going to get him to the extent that she'll get a fake ID. Then what happens is he gets caught out because he really believes this girl's 19, like she says she is, because she looks it.
Mm.
He gets in trouble, but she doesn't get in trouble. That's what I'm saying. Shouldn't she have got in trouble as well because she deliberately went out of her way to lie?
Mm.
You see where I'm coming from? That's what I'm talking about, cases like that.
But just like Pudding says, ask for ID then. And if you're in
No,
doubt,
did you hear
then
what I said?
no,
She's
talk about the
got
man.
fake ID.
Yes, then
That
you
looks
go and
real.
say to her then if there's nothing to be hidden, then you go and say, let me see your parents.
But they may not want to take it that far. Remember, some people just date.
Mm.
Oh no, don't.
Parents are involved when you want a serious relationship. Maybe you just want to date. You got to look at every scenario.
If there's no such thing as dating.
Isn't there no such thing as dating anymore?
What's
You
it called?
either
Just
link up.
and-
Yeah, I think it's just link. Yeah, just seeing each other, whatever. Not really dating, are they? Because I don't think
Dating's
anybody.
just dying out, isn't it? It's a shame.
I don't
It's
think.
dying out
Yeah,
for a lot of people. It's a real shame.
I don't
That's
think
really
anybody
sad.
texts anybody on no dates.
Oh my God, that's really
So
sad.
no, it's not dating anymore.
How the times have changed, eh? It's amazing.
Yeah, I think
It's really
terrible.
It has changed.
It's more like a Tinder thing, isn't it? Where you swipe
Maybe
left
hookups.
if you like them and stuff like
You
that.
mean
Yeah.
plenty of fish?
I think,
I think that's for the old grannies. That is.
Oh,
Tinder
no, it's
is
not.
for the Tinder's for the young people.
Mm.
Get me? And Instagram and TikTok and whatever they do.
I know a few kids that have been created off plenty of fish, so it's not for the grannies because grannies can't have kids.
I bet them people are grannies now though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say no more. Jokers. You know.
I don't know. What do we think? I think
They should be held accountable to some
parents should be
degree.
held accountable. Anyone under 16, I guess. Well, no, anyone under 15 should be the parents should be held accountable. think
The
after
parents
15.
and the child.
So I remember several girls in my school who were dating older guys, and I was like, wait, are you with a guy who's that old, 20, 21, and you're like 15? What is that? I love him.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
See what I
Oh.
mean? I love him. Mischievous.
Yeah,
So-
but at the end of the day, what did they used to tell them? Their man must have known, because where the hell are you telling him
Yeah, but
that
you know-
you are between 9 and 3 o'clock in every day? I'm at school.
Hang on, Travesty. There are girls who are conniving enough to sneak out. Come on, let's be real now.
Mm.
Yeah,
They will
but
sneak out at night and you wouldn't know. You'll be surprised. Just like when a man...
Claudia, you watch too much TV.
No, I don't watch TV like that. You know I don't. Listen, I'm looking at every scenario. When you've got wisdom, you know what games they will try and play. Just like when a married man wants to sneak out to see his missus. Come on. What excuses can he come up with to leave the house at 12 at night to go and see a woman?
I don't know. I've never been a married man to leave the house at that time.
Find out. So it's the same thing a young girl would do. She would say, I can't see you at the moment because I'm doing work or I'm babysitting, but I'll come and see you at such and such a time. You'd be surprised.
You know what? I'm surprised I can. You know what? With this married man thing, I'm really surprised that you could tell your missus that, unless you're a road man, and we know what road man do. How could you really turn around to your missus and go, oh, "I'm going out now"?
A businessman could. Let me tell you how easy a businessman could do it.
Go on.
I've got to go on urgent business, or the alarm's gone off at my factory. I've got to go and sort it out, and straight away he's out the house. So it's the same. Roadman, businessman. If they want to get out, they will find a way.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I suppose.
So yeah.
Well, you don't have to lie. Why do you have to lie about it, man? You can just be honest. I'm going out. That's it. To my friend.
That's true. Very true.
Yeah, to my friend. He my side chick.
Most people are going to my side chick. You can just be honest about it. Causes a lot of stress.
God.
Yeah, because it gives the lady the option to leave or not.
To pack her bags quickly, yeah. Oh my God.
And I guess when the guy's at that point, there's honest guys out there, but when there's a guy's at that point where he's like, I'm going out to see my side chick, he might as well just tell his wife anyway, because there's two options then, isn't there? You can either make up the relationship so it gets back better, so he doesn't feel like he needs to have a side chick, or she can leave. They can break up. They need two options every house. So why don't you just say it? So obviously that's what he wants anyway, because he's like, he's obviously his wife's not fulfilling or whatever. I know there's always the idea that there's kids involved or someone else is involved, but I mean, to me, it just sounds logical to do that. Just tell her if you don't want to be with her anymore.
That's very true.
Yeah, it's true. Definitely.
Take and eat it, don't they? So it's going to be honest.
Yeah, it's true. Just don't want to do it though.
Just don't want to do it. But yeah. Anyway, as we say, we've exhausted that topic as well.
Yeah. Let's
moving on to your good one, Alstallio. Go on.
Okay.
You introduce it so we can all jump on it.
Yeah. Okay. Black women image. Is it time for us to stop showing black women in shows like HipHop Wives? Can you think of any other shows that are like this? I Love You New York.
Real Lives of Atlanta.
Yeah, Real Lives of Atlanta. Yeah. All this stuff. How damaging is it for our community?
Very.
Yeah, it is.
I think so too. Because I think that
very negative.
When you think about it, they've never really, in Hollywood or wherever, they've never really advertised the black woman as being smart and intelligent and, humble like a white lady. Never. It's always a loud, hey, go now.
Yeah, always bitching, always aggressive, always wants to fight somebody. And it's really, really sad because these women, a lot of them, especially in the House of the House of Atlanta one, the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They are successful women, but they still have to carry this negative ghetto attitude with them. I don't get it.
But do you think though it's fabricated to be that way?
Yeah,
because
I agree.
Look at it. No. Listen. Hear me out. For example, you can get an Asian guy who eats bats, for example, and then an Asian guy who's like a dentist and he's vegan. It's the same with black people. You can get black people that live in the ghetto, that fight and want to shoot and bang this and blah blah blah, and then you can get well-educated black women who are fashion designers, hard-working, and they can be single mothers and this, that, other positive things, and they're doing what they're doing, and they're doing it well. You know what I mean? So I do feel like it's fabricated to make, the black female not look in a great life, because you can do shows where, there's a a little black girl aspiring to be a dentist, and you just do a season after season after season of her going through school and positive vibes and positive people around you. You can do it. So I feel like it's a setup.
But Pudding, they could do it, but I think in their mentality is, it won't get enough viewers.
Yeah.
So they want problems and hassle and fighting involved. And this is why the women do it. So at the end of the day, I have no sympathy for them because they're successful women. And if they're choosing to go into being negative to either earn more money or what they think is, to me, they're infamous rather than famous.
Yeah.
So they're just known for negativity. I'm not looking at the fact that they're successful business women. I'm looking at that they're ghetto women with money, you see. And somebody who's intellectual and got better things going on are going to see them that way. They're not going to see them as successful black women.
But my
they're going to
thing
see them
is,
as ghetto women with money.
My thing is, Mideyah.
Simple. Yeah,
all right, then they could do it this way though. They can go to Atlanta. There's probably a small part of Atlanta where there's a positive lifestyle generally for black people and black women, and just film that.
Agree.
You know what I mean? They can do it. If they're willing to find it, they'll find it.
But
like, I've watched documentaries, for instance, you know, the big ones, the reality TV ones, the ones where they're overseeing loads of people in a house and they fight and whatnot. I found out through watching the behind the scenes of how they cast people. They have a profile for that person and say, yep, I want this person, he's got Tourette's, throw him in there. Or I want this person, she screams, she had tantrums, throw her in there. Oh, this person's got anorexia, throw her in there, and just see an explosion happen. So they're profiling people. That's why, for example, I'm actually going to mention this person's name, Kim Fields, someone from back in your guys' time, I think the 90s. She was very positive, but because she didn't bring drama, that's why they got rid of her. They can say something else, but that's why they got rid of her, because every time there was a problem, she always wanted to fix it, and they hated it. You know what I mean? So they can find it. When they found someone positive, they didn't hold on to that person, so that's why it's fabricated and it's set up for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, but the thing is, you even though you're saying this, Pudding, they know this. You think they don't know that it's set up that way, but they're agreeing to the
because they're the people who. Yeah, but you know what? It's just like selling your soul to the devil, really.
Yeah, that's what it is.
At the end of the day, you want that little bit, because I watched a show one time where they were talking about the addiction to fame.
Yeah,
and once you've tasted that little 10 minutes of fame, you're addicted to it and you want it all the time, and you'll do anything to keep on to that fame, because you could be today's cheap paper, today's paper, tomorrow's cheap paper.
Yeah.
So you just anything, any controversy, anything. Even Jordan was doing it at one time, selling her own stories. The same with that Jade Goody. She was doing it as well.
She did it for her kids, though. I actually
she done it to make the money. Yeah,
I did it. Smart. That was smart.
Yeah, she knew what was going on, but still, half of the stories what were told about her weren't true. But she just liked doing the drama, so she could get the papers to always be following her. So to keep that fame going, like you said, for her children, so she could build a brand. And that's all they do it for. Because if you're not having constant fights and you're just in the background, you're not doing what they want you to do. But, they want more viewers, they want more people, they want you to be the star of the show. Doesn't matter how ratchet you go on, you'll get the most fame.
Yeah, Travesty, you're right. Using the key word there, fame. So at the end of the day, they choose to go in the terms and conditions, because remember, these women are already successful. So the fact that they are willing to sell their soul to the devil to keep that fame shows that they are just ghetto people with money. Because as you say, if they're already successful, as Pudding said a bit earlier, you got successful people in Atlanta they will never get filmed because they're humble. They're successful though, but they're humble.
Well, you never saw people like Usher Raymond on it and all them decent like celebrities.
Yeah,
you see the people who are not famous anymore,
or the people who like drama. They've got to like drama to go on it in the first place.
There's people who like drama, but me personally, are they even famous anymore?
No,
they're not. They're trying to get it back, but they're not getting it back.
It's negative, so it's not doing anything good for our community as a black race. It's not doing any good for us. That's the whole point.
Another thing
What's wrong? Get on.
another thing that another thing that happens is you kind of go off that race, you know, you kind of like I guess that plays a lot towards why black men probably don't see black women as attractive anymore, because they're like, I don't want to get who's like that. And the thing is, black women see that on TV and aspire to be just like that on the TV.
Well, no.
I wouldn't.
Twisted.
I wouldn't forget that.
I feel quite embarrassed because I
It's
think to myself,
embarrassing.
why would you want to be with somebody who's fighting in their 40s, 50s still?
Exactly.
Like you're about 20?
Yeah.
Come on now. And you're fighting about the same things that you used to fight about when you was 15 to
teenager.
25. Over man. More time.
Man.
You know what I
Nonsense.
mean? I'm like, get out of here. You know what I mean? Get a life.
Disgusting. It's disgusting.
It's terrible.
To be honest, black people should wake up and stop buying into this reality rubbish. They really should stop buying into it, because it's done the job. Whoever put it there, as you know, to keep us dumbed down and to keep this negative light about us, and we keep buying into it, so it continues the bad legacy.
It's true.
I cannot believe that they're all there thinking that, if I bitch this and if I do this and that, I'm going to stay famous. They're not looking at the bigger picture. What's going to happen when you really are a has-been?
It's true, isn't it? Oh, are they has-beens?
You know what I mean? When reality shows no longer there. People
they'll always be there. Reality shows will always be there, but
you know what I mean?
I don't know. Like, I feel like there's some people that will act up and do it for fame, but then I feel like there's a certain group of people that's just who they are. They'll just fight. They'll just be negative. They'll just be like that. You know what I mean?
I agree, but it all boils down to the same thing. It's negative. We're not going to look at them as positive, because I wouldn't look at them as positive at all. I look at them because there's some grown-ass women who are arguing over nonsense. You know, someone, he said, she said, get out of here. You shouldn't even want to get into tittle-tackle when you reach an age.
The common one. Oh, you're not even married to him. Your marriage is fake. That's the common one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little bit funny though. Come on, your marriage is fake. Where's the papers? Where's the certificate? You bought it from the black market. You know what I mean? You think, come on.
You do have to laugh sometimes.
But you're laughing at something that they're saying in jest, which it's a spiteful dig. If you look deep.
But the thing is, I know the sort of person that I am. That wouldn't offend me, because I know I'm married to the guy or the woman or whoever. I'm not married to you, so I don't need to prove myself to you or the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Jesus, it should be taken off the air, and that's it. Simple. These reality shows are not helping women. It's just like, to be honest, now it's going a little bit further with that. The whole point of them putting on soaps in the first place was to dumb down women. And I'm talking about silly soaps like Coronation Street and those sort of things.
Oh, God.
I love that show.
Did it start with Disney, though? Didn't it start with Disney?
Those things were put there to dumb you down in the first place. And look, you're so addicted to it. I woke up, thank God, better late than never, because I realised it's pure. It's not.
No, I watch it. Yes, it is sometimes nonsense, but I think they've changed the writers recently, and they're more identifying some really good storylines at the moment, true to living life. You know what I mean? Like the mental abuse.
I agree with you. I agree with you to a degree.
And they've done the racist one as well before the Black Lives Matter movement even started. They tried to educate their people about what it is about being racist, what we don't like as a culture. And they actually said the stuff on there, and I was like, wow. So they must have some black writers in or something. You know what I mean? And it was true. It was really, really good, because the builder must have said to one of the black people, can't chill out, Fresh Prince. I know you're trying to get on for your rice and peas and your little bit of rum. And you thought, yo, where you going, you joker? Come on now.
Yeah. Right, Travesty, let me stop you there for a minute, darling. I want you to listen to what Travesty just said. Did you hear how she spoke about these white soaps? Did you hear how she spoke of them in a positive way? And how it reflects on everyday life, so it's sort of educating us. Why couldn't we speak about that just a minute ago, about the black shows? They're all reality shows. Do you see where I'm coming from?
It's true.
That's the difference.
The difference with them shows, because I've watched all, like, they'll come sometimes on my news feed on Facebook, and I'll go onto YouTube and watch them, and it's like the best arguments or the best fights and this and that. And it's always like the Atlanta Housewives and all them other stuff.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, it's educated me never to ever wanted to be famous or mix with certain people mix with certain people because you know people are not really loyal like they think you are. And someone's always trying to jump in your man's bed. So it's just one of them.
That's how I watch it for them sort of reasons as well. Travesty, I agree. Like, you know, I look at these things, I'm thinking, I'm so glad I'm just got this basic lifestyle.
Normal life,
everyone's in my business and I don't need to prove myself to people. Or the prime one is that I don't need to have these big extravagant parties and have everybody there hating on me. I wouldn't like that. I'd rather have two people in my life that love me and appreciate me for who I am than for the riches that I've got. You know what I mean? That's how I look at those things. So it just makes me, you know what I mean? So I look at those sort of things as well. And that's the flip side of it and why I watch it. It's like when you always bring up.
Doesn't matter how you look at it, it's still not a positive.
I know it's not positive, but this is just the way. It's probably because of the upbringing we've had, you know, it's one of them. But that's the same way I look at Geordie Shore. I'm thinking, hold on, this is what girls do. This is what
but they do,
guys do. This is what they want. And whenever that made me realise when I go to clubs, I need to set myself up that someone may want that or may want to go to the extreme. So I was overprotective of myself. I was extra safe, taking extra precautions, didn't drink so much. You know what I mean? So those things I look at. Yeah.
Just like Love Island and all them stuff.
Oh gosh, something.
It's on the same level.
Makes you not want to date again.
But that's how life really is, isn't it?
No, that's how they want. That is how they want life to be. That's why it's on TV because it doesn't.
But in real life,
think about it. TV is targeted mainly. Those sorts of shows are targeted at younger people who are easy.
The impressionables, isn't it?
We know that. So that is why they put them out there. That is how they want the world to be. It wasn't like that. They want it to be like that for whatever reason.
Well, and to keep the black women down by making them not unlikable. I always think that, like, obviously we're a bit louder, so you know that follows us around, and then you got these black women that you can't really talk to, they're just all arguing and abrasive and in your face, and you're like, oh man. But they've, like I said, they've learned that from TV, whereas our counterparts, our white counterparts, they have all nice idols to look up to, you know, relaxed and you know, decent, so they could be like, I'll pick these guys. We don't have any of those. Well, we do. Well, slowly they're getting onto the picture, onto the box. But basically, what do we have really? If you look back like 20 years ago, look what idols we had to look up to then. People in television and stuff. You didn't have anybody? You didn't have anybody? Grace Jones, maybe, that's it. Mean looking African model who just looked at you with peace in the eyes, you know, it's like, that's it. You know, luckily there was obviously a few black produced shows which sort of brought through a few upstanding black people in most cases. Even if you look at like Tiffany Haddish at the moment, you know, she's a beautiful black girl, you know, funny comedian, but look how she has to act in most of her shows. It's the same.
Ghetto.
Yeah.
Same Ghetto ratchet.
Shake your head and stuff, and you're like, man, why? Why is that? I think what it is, souls that go for cheap on the internet or anywhere else, and they go for really cheap. Anyone's willing to sell a soul.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at, really.
Unfortunately, it's true.
Absolute rubbish.
So do we agree that the black woman image is, you know, into the TV?
You know, I've just had a thought. Just imagine if I made it. Just imagine I got onto Hollyoaks, like I auditioned and I made it into something, and you see me just acting ghetto and ratchet. What would you be like if I was acting?
How would you sell your soul, man?
Why would you say soul? That's what I'm saying.
The thing is, you have to respect the hustle in a way, though, innit? You can choose between poverty and a comfortable life, I guess. I mean, but the thing is, what happens? You got to look at the damage you're leaving behind, and that's what I think people need to do.
The negative legacy.
Yeah. You know, but people don't think. They all think about it. Like I say, when there's something like there was a few years back, there was a T-shirt that came out, and he was saying something about cutest something in the cutest monkey in the jungle or something.
Oh yeah,
And
that
then
was like this point last year, innit?
Yeah, it was some sort.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "What is this? It's racist." And they were all the community officers like, "Look at this." And the black woman just turned around and was like, "I don't see anything wrong with it," because she was from Africa. Now, the thing with African people, they don't really mind if people are being racist to them because they try and stay humble because they're happy to be here. You know, they're not like people, like people who
and that's where they let us down.
That's where they let us down. Yeah, they don't fight and realize that it's wrong. See, the thing is, they don't really know that much about racism. That's the thing.
Exactly.
And, like I said, they don't want to be called out because they don't want to be sent back to where they came from.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not nice, but that we all need to unite in that aspect and say, look, no. But some people come from poverty and they're like, you know what, my son's a model. I don't care. I'm getting paid.
Yeah.
So
it's really sad state of affair. But what can you do?
No, it's crazy, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, I think
we've wrapped it up.
We've reached the apex of the show.
Yeah.
There you go. Put it. Finally.
I'm taking it back. Ooh, no. Taking it all the
time. Okay, let's go around the table. We can start with Travesty today. Travesty, what's popping?
Don't we try and take care of your kids because you don't want to be held responsible for any wrongs they may commit under your jurisdiction. As a black woman, stay strong, stay positive, and try and not make the whole world tear us down like we're not worth anything.
Yeah.
And love, peace, and happiness.
Yeah. Thank you. Pudding?
I would like to say that I believe that people are starting to wake up now. I'm seeing it more and more on Instagram. And I'd just like to say, just continue the process of, speaking up for everybody. The love, the peace, the harmony, and reading between the lines. Take everything with a pinch of salt. Yeah, just take things with a pinch of salt, question it. Don't always take it as face value,
Mideyah?
Inshallah.
Yeah. Are you Muslim now?
No.
Okay,
God
good.
willing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say, God willing.
Okay.
God.
See that's it, but there's become positive. That's what I like.
She hasn't she?
Yeah. I'm going to say, look out for our advert being released in the next couple of days. Hopefully, the Hidden Agenda, the new audio drama being released through Blackopolypse podcast media.
Yeah.
That. And, stay positive and stand up. If you see anyone talking, any bullies, if you notice anyone who's been a bully to somebody else, whether it's racist,
report them.
Stand up for them. Stand up for them. Don't just stand there and be like, oh, it's kind of funny, or he's just joking.
Nah.
Don't joking. Forget that. That's what we've been saying for years, and that's why we're in this mess. Stop saying just joking.
Report that bully. Report that bully. That's all I say. Report him.
Yeah, tell him you don't like it. Go to the authorities. Go and do your best. We need to get. If you know what I would do, I'd implement a rule. If anyone's a nasty person, they could be killed on the spot.
Because you're obviously a waste of life.
I know, yeah, because they're a waste of life, and I think that if you can get rid of all the stupid, nasty people off the planet, we might have a chance really of surviving. Yeah. We may have a chance. Yeah, that's actually horrible. I'm not a murderer, but I just I'm liberal when it comes
passionate.
to that thing. Yeah,
passionate.
I'm passionate. That's what it is. Okay, and on that bombshell, guys, next week.
Yes.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
It's a dream for me and you. It's a dream come true. It's a dream